As we bring this exploration to a close, we recognize that Raj'at is not simply a theological concept, it lies at the heart of Shia hope and faith. It is a manifestation of Allah's supreme power, a divine promise of justice, and a call to spiritual and moral transformation. The return of the Al-Bayt, peace be upon them. The prophets and the righteous will herald the beginning of an unparalleled era of divine governance and ultimate justice. For the believers, it will be the triumph of truth. For the disbelievers, a time of reckoning. Raj'at is not merely the return of the dead, it is the fulfillment of divine promises, the restoration of justice, and the continuation of the mission of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. It calls upon all of us to live with steadfast faith, to strive for justice, and to prepare our souls for the reappearance of Imam Mahdi. May Allah hasten his reappearance. Welcome to today's deep dive into a profound and often misunderstood concept of Raj'at, which is one of the popular beliefs of the Shias. And it means after the reappearance of Imam Mahdi, a group of the sincere mu'mineen and a group of the immensely wicked disbelievers and rebellious individuals shall return to this world. In this session, we will explore the theological significance of Raj'at, its connection to the Imamate, and its profound role in the realization of divine justice. We will uncover its presence in the Quran, the teachings of the Al-Bayt, peace be upon them, and the interpretations provided by renowned scholars. This journey will also shed light on how Raj'at shapes the Shia belief in the reappearance of Imam Mahdi and its critical importance in the establishment of divine justice in the world. Raj'at means the return of certain souls to this world after death. This is not a metaphorical or symbolic return, but a literal and physical one. It is a divine occurrence that takes place before the Day of Judgment. Raj'at is closely tied to the reappearance of Imam Mahdi. To truly grasp the significance of Raj'at, we need to examine the multiple layers of meaning embedded in the Quran and narrations. Certain verses in the Quran refer to the hour, which many interpret as the Day of Judgment. However, according to the Al-Bayt, peace be upon them, some of these verses refer not only to the Day of Judgment but also to Raj'at. This reveals the multidimensional nature of Quranic language and interpretation. Scholars such as Ayatollah Muhammad Sanad al-Bahraini highlight that over 12,000 narrations regarding Raj'at exist, many of which have been mistakenly confined to discussions about the Day of Judgment. In reality, these narrations pertain to both events, thereby establishing Raj'at not as a marginal belief, but as a foundational tenet within Shia theology, deeply rooted in both the Quran and the narrations. Our supplications and ziyarat texts also reflect this belief in Raj'at. In various prayers such as the Ziyarat Jamia Kabira, we affirm our belief in the return of the Al-Bayt, peace be upon them, and the believers. These are not mere utterances, but declarations of unwavering faith, testimonies that we are also destined to partake in this divine return. Prominent scholars like Sheikh al-Mufid explain that during Raj'at, God will restore the dead in their original physical forms. If a person passed away at the age of 50, they will return at the same age, complete with their unique features and bodily marks. This underscores the physical nature of Raj'at. It is not a rebirth but a literal return of the deceased to this world. The righteous will return before the Day of Judgment as a prelude to the final establishment of divine justice. Importantly, Raj'at involves not only the return of the righteous, but also that of the wicked. Sheikh al-Mufid further explains that through Raj'at, the righteous will be distinguished from the corrupt, and the believers will triumph over their oppressors, thus allowing justice to prevail. This is one of Raj'at's central functions, which is the manifestation of divine justice under the leadership of Imam Mahdi. May Allah hasten his reappearance. Imam al-Sadiq, peace be upon him, emphasized the significance of Raj'at, stating that anyone who does not believe in Raj'at is not truly among the followers of the Al-Bayt, peace be upon them. This powerful assertion highlights Raj'at as a core belief of Shia Islam, indicating that belief in it is not optional, but essential to one's faith. Raj'at is higher than reappearance but lower than Judgment Day. In Shia theology, Raj'at occupies a station higher than the reappearance of Imam Mahdi, but lower than the Day of Judgment. It represents an intermediate stage during which divine justice begins to manifest. In this period, those who were oppressed in this world will witness the return of the righteous, who will restore what was lost and correct the course of history. The popular zombie myth is a distortion of Rajat. For instance, on October 12th, the world marks Zombie Day, portraying the dead as mindless monsters rising from the grave. Rajat, however, is its opposite, the dignified return of God's chosen ones for the fulfillment of divine justice. Myths like these are tools used by Zionist media and narratives to obscure or discredit the truth of Rajat. Even Sunni scholars like Fakhr al-Razi and Ibn Abi al-Hadid acknowledge the Shia belief in Rajat, though they criticize it. This very criticism serves as proof of its importance within Shia theology. Furthermore, the concept of return is not exclusive to Islam. Parallels can be found in Judaism and Christianity, where the return of the dead and the reappearance of prophets are widely attested. For example, in the Bible, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verses 10 to 13, describes a vision of a valley filled with dry bones brought back to life at God's command, forming a mighty army. In Isaiah chapter 26, verse 19, we read, "Your dead shall live, their bodies shall rise. You who dwell in the dust, awake and sing for joy. For your dew is a dew of light, and the earth will give birth to the dead." Such verses confirm the universality of Rajat and reinforce it as a divine reality rather than a borrowed idea. Rajat has occurred multiple times throughout history. The Quran provides numerous examples of Rajat. In Surah 2 verses 55 to 56, Allah revived 70 followers of Prophet Moses, peace be upon him, after they were struck by lightning. Later, in the same chapter verses 72 to 73, a murdered man was brought back to life by striking his body with a piece of a cow. These are not mere allegories. They are demonstrations of divine power and clear precedents for Rajat, affirming Allah's power to revive the dead. The general understanding is that Rajat will coincide with the reappearance of Imam Mahdi. May Allah hasten his reappearance. The first group to return will emerge from behind the mosque of Kufa, including the companions of the cave or the 7 sleepers of Ephesus, and some of the Prophet Muhammad's companions. While some scholars suggest that Rajat may begin even before the reappearance, the prevailing view is that it will unfold during the era of Imam Mahdi's reappearance. Rajat is not limited to the return of the righteous. Its purpose is far more profound. It is the time when the most oppressed will finally be avenged, the enemies of the truth will be defeated, and divine justice will be firmly established. Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, will play a central role in this process. His return will be among the first during Rajat. He will lead the battle against the enemies of Allah, and under the guidance of Imam Mahdi, they will establish a divine government founded on justice. The return of Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, and his loyal companions is essential to the fulfillment of Allah's promises to the believers. The significance of Rajat is also deeply tied to the fulfillment of the covenant made with the prophets. How could the prophets' pledges to support Imam Mahdi be realized if they are no longer in this world? The answer is Rajat. The prophets themselves will return, including Prophet Jesus, to stand alongside Imam Mahdi, underscoring the universal and divine nature of Rajat. Imamate, or divine leadership, consists of 2 phases, potential and actual. In the era of Rajat, the actual Imam will be Imam Mahdi, who will lead the return of the righteous and oversee the establishment of divine justice. All the prophets and companions who return will do so under his leadership. Thus, Rajat is not merely about witnessing the reappearance of Imam Mahdi, but about actively contributing to the realization of his divine rule. Rajat serves multiple purposes. It allows the righteous to witness divine justice, provides an opportunity for spiritual elevation, and marks a period of punishment for the disbelievers. It is during this time that the mission of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, will reach its ultimate fulfillment, and humanity will be transformed into true friends of Allah. Among the greatest rewards for the believers in this era will be their relationship with Imam Mahdi, marked by loyalty, devotion, and active participation in his cause. Among the first to return will be figures such as Salman al-Farsi, who will assist Imam Mahdi in his divine mission. His return symbolizes not only closeness to the Ahl al-Bayt, but also unwavering dedication to the divine cause. The return of the companions of the Ahl al-Bayt, peace be upon them, is not merely a physical occurrence, it is a spiritual awakening, reviving the true essence of Islam. Belief in Rajat leads to profound spiritual vitality for the Shia community. It inspires them to live a life in anticipation of the return of the righteous, striving to be among those chosen to witness the return and the establishment of divine justice.